And yeah, all right. So I watched the vice presidential debate. Before we get started, I'm not telling y'all who to vote for. I'm not legally allowed to do that due to my affiliation with the military. So I'm not telling you who to vote for. And even if I wasn't, I still wouldn't tell you who to vote for anyway. It's more of a personal thing you should figure out on your own. Point is, the debate was great. That shit was better than the presidential debate, if I'm being completely honest. But my problem was nobody was talking about shit that could like that affects me personally, right? Like they were talking about houses and shit. That's cool, but my thing is, I'm in the service, right? So I'm assuming I'm gonna hear something about the military. And not even in the presidential debate, I actually did not hear shit be asked about like troops or none of that, right? Like one of the questions, and again, it was a good debate. It just didn't answer my questions. It didn't like it had nothing to do with me personally, right? Like it was mainly about houses and shit. They're asking about like they're thinking of making millions of houses, right? And it was weird. They brought that up because obviously, nobody can afford a fucking house right now. So they was asking basically like, hey, how are we gonna make people afford houses? Like, hey, we plan on building millions of houses, and that's gonna take care of it, right? How does that take care of any fucking thing? People can't afford houses, and your idea is to build more. I'm being dead ass serious. Like I'm not making this up. Like they asked the question, "What are you gonna do about housing?" And they were like, "Hey, we're making millions more of houses that people can't fucking afford." So you think that again, the debate was good because it was really professional, but from a personal standpoint, that's fucking stupid. How are you gonna make more of something people can't hardly get their hand on as it is? That that doesn't uh that doesn't make sense. I don't know if I'm tripping or not. Like that dead ass makes no fucking sense. It's like a fucking candy company making 10 products and there's millions of people like, "Hey, we want more of this." And they're like, "Okay, we're going to make more, right? Check this out. In order to get the product, you got to have for whatever reason $1 million, right? And then they only make 12 of them. And their answer to this is to make more and charge more. Does that make like sense? Like that's the whole point I'm trying to get. I'm trying to make this sound fucking as stupid as possible on purpose because it doesn't make sense. Like why would you make more of what's not fucking affordable and then say how are you going to solve the problem? That doesn't solve anything. That actually makes it worse. I don't care if it's the fucking immigrants, the Mexicans, whatever people want to fucking blame it on. It's not affordable. So therefore, like making more of something people can't afford doesn't solve that. It literally does nothing. It it hurts it. And that was my biggest like takeaway from that. That really pissed me off because it was just kind of a stupid response. But yeah, the other thing was, gun violence. Basically, they said like, hey, we're not taking people's guns away. We're just eliminating the ones they shouldn't fucking have. And I guess you can admit like there's obviously we probably shouldn't have too much of the shit we have, right? That's not a problem. That's just the truth. It's just the truth, right? It's too much of a good thing, you could say. But yeah, man, that was that was nice to see them, bring up. I guess it, they're not necessarily taking the guns away in the way people think. They're just eliminating how people can get them. If anything, and that's it's not a problem. That actually makes sense. That's a smart answer to fucking have. Like, hey, we're not gonna take your guns away. We're just gonna take the ones away you're not supposed to have in the first fucking place, right? So nothing wrong with that. I ain't see nothing wrong with that. That's just common sense. But yeah, that I didn't really see a lot of things that tackled actual fucking problems going on, right? Like things are expensive nowadays. They answered the questions with more questions, and they weren't bad questions. I do that sometimes too when I'm in the mood. I answer questions with questions as well. But I mean, honestly, it didn't really get to the bottom of what's going on in the world. There's drugs all over the fucking place, right? Immigrants is the least of my fucking concern, all right? Deport them, kill them. I don't give a fuck. But that is the least of my personal concern. Like that doesn't stop what I'm doing at work. That doesn't stop anybody from doing anything unless they are infected, by that. What's actually affecting people is, jobs aren't paying enough. Houses are too fucking expensive. There's food that used to be very, very affordable, not fucking affordable no more. Like, that shit matters, right? That shit really fucking matters. Like, shit like that needs to be axed. And for whatever reason, that wasn't really brought up. It was more of, what are you gonna do for this, and what are you gonna do for that? And I mean, dog, it's cool the ideas they had, right? I'm not gonna say it was bad. They had ideas. It just doesn't really answer the question when you truly think about it. Like it doesn't answer shit. It's just, hey, remember when this happened? Like, no, I don't fucking remember, man. I remember the good times, right? I remember that. I remember those times clearly. When groceries was affordable, man. I knew groceries was affordable, and I couldn't even buy them because I was fucking poor. All right, so please, like, think of that. I know when groceries was affordable because I was still too broke, but I knew they weren't expensive like the way they are now. All right, housing wasn't touched. You know, shit that should have been touched on just kind of, it wasn't really brought up, and that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't make sense asking these questions, and we're not asking the real questions here. But yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it. It's I wish I could find a word for it. It's something. All right. It's very different from the presidential debate, is what I'm going to say. It's very something I could look at it again. All right. But yeah, my main key was, it just wasn't anything that actually should have been talked about, in my opinion. It was mainly like, this person did this and this person said that, and all of this, remember that, and man, like, nobody knows about that but you, right? Nobody truly pays attention to that. We pay attention to actions. But hopefully, whoever wins, something better happens for everybody.